We are tonight's entertainment.
What the fuck is this, Jet?
This is a tasty burger.
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
You like Huey Lewis in the news?
Is this your homework, Larry?
Why just spill your beans?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Scrotus. Start your engines. Ready, steady, go! Dude,
hell fucking yeah.
that's what being a fucking man's all about.
This is man
dude.
shit.
Yeah.
You thought guys being dudes was bad?
Welcome home, brother.
Welcome home. I mean, this
We've
is the
got
United States of America right here, pal.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm about to go shoot.
We're
my
talking
gun
about
in the
5
sky.
Australian movies and we're making it about us.
It's all about us.
Welcome back, gang. All the scoopers out there. We appreciate you coming back for another scoop.
For just another dabble in the old scoop, you know.
Yeah, you know, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about I Saw the TV Glow. Pretty fun episode.
Yeah. I
I feel like it did pretty well in terms of our average. I feel like it was a bit above average.
Oh, so we got like 6 views?
Yeah, we got like 6.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're making big strides. I'll be able to quit my job soon.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. But yeah, we're here to talk about Furiosa and rank all the Mad Max movies.
Hell yeah.
And we're gonna do some trivia, Mad Max trivia, Wasteland trivia, Shiny and Chrome trivia.
Witness!
Witness me!
Yeah, dude.
Mediocre.
Oh my god.
Dude,
I'm so mad that I fucked up that sticker I had on my hard hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
But I do
print
have
out a new one.
I have like this big knockout set and I have a witness written on the handle and I was like, fuck yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Badass.
Okay. No big news this week, so we'll just go ahead and dive straight in to the Wasteland, into the Mad Max
Pedal
trivia.
to the fucking floor, dude.
Yeah, bro. Right to it.
Yeah. No dicking around
Yeah,
here.
we're heading straight to Gastown.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first question for you.
Yeah.
Who runs Bartertown?
Oh, fuck, dude. You're supposed to start with the softballs.
I know. You love Mad Max Fury Road too much. I gotta bust out the big guns.
Dude, when we were doing the trivia for this, I looked over at Cash and I was like, I just want to make sure we don't have the same question, but have you already put down who runs Bartertown for one of the trivia? He goes, how about you don't fuck up my shit?
So you haven't answered the question, Coral. Who runs Bartertown?
Master Blaster run Bartertown.
He sure fucking does.
Yeah, that's the best master I can. I'm not very good at master.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Your master's pretty good though.
Master Blaster run Bartertown.
That's just way better. That's just dial up to 11.
By the way, speaking of impressions, we found Carl's fucking Dylan. We found Carl's Don't Talk because he busted out a Nick from Good Time like 5 minutes ago that was crazy.
It's probably not.
Go ahead and say "Don't count your chickens" right now. Right, stat
I was going
now.
to save it for when we talked about Good Time.
We'll do it again. We'll double dip.
Okay, let me channel his energy again.
I'll play the Howard Stern guy.
Okay.
Have you ever heard the phrase "Don't count your chickens before they hatch"? What does that mean to you?
Don't count your chickens.
Go, when I tell you, that is fucking perfect. I have
probably not
no
appropriate.
tips for that fucking impression. I could mute the movie and just get you to do his lines, and it would sound exactly the same. That's fucking crazy, dude.
That's the don't count your chickens is my best. I don't know if I can do the rest.
I think that's the best impression you've ever done.
That makes me feel good. I'm glad.
Yeah, and you've got some good ones. But yeah, that was just had to bring that up. Now my next question may have just been soiled because we have Fury Road on in the background subtitles on. Mm-hmm. But what's the first line spoken in Fury Road?
Oh shit. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't read it. So it didn't get soiled.
And I will say it's not like the announcers or like news archive footage or anything. It's like what a main character says.
Yeah, it's Max narrating.
It's Max.
I don't think I know.
If you can't think of anything, I can give you the first part, and you may be able to think of the second part.
Give me the first part. 'Cause I don't...
First part is, my name is Max. What does he say after that?
My name is Max. I don't fucking know.
My world is fire and blood.
Oh my god, dude. How the fuck did I forget that? That's the most badass line ever.
Yeah.
Holy shit. My world is fire and blood.
Yep.
That's metal as shit, dude. That is so fucking metal. That's awesome.
And my last one is, what's the code word that Furiosa uses to tell Max when to drive?
Go fool.
Just fool, but yeah.
Fool. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew she called him fool because
Yeah.
he wouldn't tell her his name.
Yeah.
All right. My trivia is... I just saw my names.
Yeah, I just saw mine too.
My trivia is a little bit harder, but you've read Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, so maybe... And you know more than I do, but... what job did George Miller work to fund Mad Max?
He was a doctor.
Hell yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
I think I work hard. He was a doctor in an emergency room to make a movie.
Yeah.
I'm tired after the day.
Yeah. He said he got the idea for Mad Max because of all the people that came into the emergency room from like bike accidents and car accidents.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. What actor was considered for Fury Road? I know he had the idea and he wanted Mel Gibson, but then it became someone else.
His top option was Heath Ledger.
Yep. You got it.
Yep.
Nailed
Which
it.
would have been fucking awesome.
That would have been crazy.
Dude, his career, I hate thinking about it. Like where he would have went after The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Because he would have had so many opportunities.
Dude, he would have been like the guy.
Yeah. He also considered Armie Hammer.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that guy. How many lines of dialogue does Max have in Road Warrior? I didn't realize it was... If you just give me a ballpark and it's close, I'll give it to you. I don't expect you to know the exact amount, but I didn't realize the amount until I saw it.
I think it's around like 30 or 40.
Yeah, it's less than 20. 16 lines.
16.
16.
I did not know it was that low.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's been a while since I've seen Road Warrior. I wanted to watch it with you, but I got fucked in the ass. But, you know, another day, another dollar.
Got your nose to the grindstone.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I've been having my fucking chain yanked around the whole goddamn weekend, dude. But anyway, that was my trivia.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing I told Carl to do was to pick if we were in the Wastelands, what would you want your name to be? What would your Mad Max name be? And I chose Bulbous the Chode.
Oh my god, Bulbous is crazy.
Because that's just the two things that I aspire to present.
Yeah.
I want to be bulbous.
And you want to show people your chode.
And I want people to know I have a chode.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the name. Like, it's already established. I don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
They know, oh, he's bulbous. He has a chode.
He knows that. We know everything we need to know about this guy. I came up with two because I immediately wrote down Spoogius or just Spooge.
Spooge. That's good.
And then I also put down Fecal.
Those are both really good.
Fecal was pretty fucking hard,
That's
dude.
Awesome. Anytime you can find a name that's like really short,
Yeah.
but funny, like Smeg.
Smeg.
I was so mad he took Smeg. That
Go
would've been
fetch
my answer.
Fecal. And then some guy just crawls out of a hole somewhere. Covered in shit.
Yeah. I'm mad Rictus Erectus was taken too.
Yeah, dude.
Like, how do you think of that?
I would, even if it wasn't taken, I would never come up with a Rectus as my fucking name. That's way too badass.
Yeah.
Way too badass.
So yeah, that's all we got for the old Mad Max stuff for now, because we'll rank them later.
Yeah.
But we got to get into the watch list. So I'm just gonna skip over the Mad Max stuff on the watch list.
Of course.
And roll straight into Good Time.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again.
Don't count your chickens.
I know you've been fucking crafting that in every morning in your car.
I swear to
waiting
God,
for this moment.
I swear to God, until we were talking about it just now, I've never done that before.
That's ridiculous.
I've never even tried to do Nick.
You ooze talent. That's insane.
Like, oh, he kind of sounds like this, and then I just did it.
Okay, yeah, Good Time. We watched this because spoiler for the next movie on the watch list, Uncut Gems got a re-release.
Yep.
And we saw that. And so I figured it would be a good time to rewatch Good Time, see them back-to-back days.
Good time
very
to watch
easy.
Good Time.
It's always a good time to watch Good Time.
Come on.
Watch them back-to-back days, very easy to compare. They're both fresh in your brain. Because that's the age-old debate. Good Time or Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We watched Good Time, Uncut Gems the next day. And I guess we'll kind of talk about them together. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think Good Time's better.
I think, without a doubt, it's better. It's honestly kind of hard for me to comprehend people that like Uncut Gems more. I appreciate it. I'm not going to call you dumb if you like Uncut Gems more, but like for me, it's pretty clear that it's Good Time.
I think it's pretty popular to like Uncut Gems more, which is odd to me.
That's nuts.
I don't know if I have like a crazy deep analysis I can give you on why Good Time's better. I think one big reason is the runtime. It's 30 minutes shorter than Uncut Gems.
That's huge.
And a movie like this fast-paced, like anxiety-inducing thrill ride, I don't want those types of movies to be pushing 2.5 hours. That's not a good idea to me. That's way too long for that type of film.
Yeah.
And I think Good Time at an hour 40, I think, is like the perfect time. I think it's like an hour 47. And so the runtime itself is great, but also the way they pace the movie, it never gets boring. It never gets stagnant. Anytime they're in one particular setting for too long, they'll move. Within like 10 minutes, they're out of there and they're on to something else. And the movie's really funny. I think it's Robert Pattinson's best performance, which is saying a lot because he's one of the best actors working.
And he's also Batman.
Yeah, he's also Batman.
Which is insane.
If you watch the behind the scenes on Good Time, it's really interesting, like what they did to prepare and how they filmed it. And the Safdies are very guerrilla style filmmakers, and they typically don't get permits to shoot. They just show up and steal shots and keep it moving. And Robert Pattinson like lived in New York and like walked around as that character pretty much for like a month or two to like get into character and learn more about himself. And like the accent he does is insane considering he's British.
Yeah.
Like you would never know that.
And yeah, he's like, from what I remember, it's been a while since I've seen him in an interview, but he's like proper British too.
Yeah.
Like
very
classy British.
Yeah. Which is still like one of the reasons I find his Batman performance so impressive.
Yeah.
How different he like sounds than he normally does. But I think Good Time's easily his best performance. I just think that character is so interesting too. How he's like an expert liar.
Yeah.
He's a con man. And his name's Connie.
The con man.
Like no matter what you throw at him, on a dime, he can think of some bullshit to get him out.
We were watching the scene when he's in the hospital, and he thinks he's at his brother's room, and he's like asking the cop questions to like figure things out, and you were like, that is a charismatic motherfucker, dude.
Yeah. Just on the spot, did not know anyone was going to be there.
Yeah.
Runs into the person he's trying to avoid, and then just on the spot, Man, it's crazy out here, isn't it? You want anything from the vending machine?
Yeah.
Like, the fuck is this guy's deal, dude? Yeah. Like, he just goes through life lying through his teeth, and it sounds super genuine every time.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I think I care more about the characters in Good Time because obviously I love Nick and I want the best for Nick. Yeah. And I feel very bad for him throughout the movie, but also Nick's a fucking dog.
He is, dude.
Dude, like every time I think about Good Time, I'm like, oh, Nick's just like
a little sweetie.
And then he goes to prison and just starts fucking wailing on dudes. Well, like he changes the TV. Yeah. And he's like, I was watching that. And then just like, just fucking, like, does not cower to them at all. Just starts brawling with everybody.
Yeah.
I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah. He'll fuck someone up, dude.
Yeah, he's a fucking dog. But I like the characters more. I like Nick and Connie a lot more than Howard. And I know Connie is probably a lot worse of a person than Howard. Mm-hmm. Howard's kind of just more of like a fuck up than a bad person. He does do things that are bad.
I don't know.
But I think Connie's like genuinely a bad person.
I would argue that Howard... I don't know. I think there is an argument to be made that Howard could be worse.
I don't know if there is.
Because he's kind of like abandoned his family, and Connie is taking care of his family in his own sort of fucked up way, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say Howard abandoned his family.
Like his daughter hates him, his wife hates him. One of his sons likes him, and the other son he doesn't like show enough care for, because like his wife is having to yell at him to go up there and like be with him and say goodnight. And even when he's up there, he's watching the basketball game. Like the gambling has completely consumed his life.
But that falls to me more as like him being a fuck up than him having evil intentions. Like him being a bad person.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like Howard loves his family, he's just a fuck up.
Yeah.
And gets too distracted by gambling and sports and all that stuff and opals. and that ends up being more important than his family. But like I said, I think that falls in line with him being a fuck up, and Connie is like actually just fucking a bad person.
Yeah.
Like his whole deal with Ray, I think his name is, the guy he breaks out of prison, and what he does to the security guard was super fucked up.
That's true. I forgot about the security guard.
Super fucked up.
He wrecked that security guard.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. But even then, like even with Connie being a worse person, I just feel like his motives are so like clear, and you know why he's doing what he's doing. He's trying to break his brother out.
That's the thing with Connie and Uncut Gems. I think that's where I prefer Good Time more, is because like I'll watch Uncut Gems and get like frustrated at the decisions being made by the characters.
Yeah.
And in Good Time, I never get like frustrated.
It's never really like like bad decisions. It's more just like he's in an impossible situation and he's doing his best to like find his way through it.
Yeah.
So it's intense in the same way, but it's like Good Time is intense because it has to be, and Uncut Gems is intense because Howard's a fucking moron.
Yeah, because he's making it intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big factor to me. I like the visuals of Good Time better, which I know that like the Safdies are getting better as they go, and there are some things in Good Time that's really impressive, but I love the lighting in Good Time. I think every scene they just find a way to incorporate crazy lighting.
Yeah.
That's just so entertaining to look at. And the score is better.
The score is monstrous in Good Time.
I think the
opening
better.
song is wild.
Yeah.
To open up with that song, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I listen to that at the gym.
Yeah.
Not even like
probably rep out 500 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
On bench.
Yeah. I turn into Aaron Donald when I have Good Time I think the score is better. I think the visuals are better. I think the characters are more justifiable in their actions, and it's shorter. It's faster paced. There's less downtime, and it. Not that I don't like the ending of Good Time. I mean, Uncut Gems, but the Good Time ending just feels so right. It feels like everyone at the end of Good Time is exactly where they should be.
Yeah.
And Uncut Gems is more like kind of depressing, and I don't know. I don't want to say it's like just shock value, just to have something crazy happen, but I don't know. The Good Time ending works a lot more for me.
Yeah. I mean, it with the way that Uncut Gems it ends, it does kind of. I think it does kind of lean towards like just the shock value.
Yeah.
Because like he hit, and it would have been it's an ungodly amount. Mm-hmm. So could have gotten like as much of that as they wanted, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but no, I agree. I think Good Time feels more fulfilling than Uncut Gems does.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I land on it. I give Good Time a 5, Uncut Gems a 4.5. Uncut Gems is Alan's favorite movie, so I really wanted to give it another shot in theaters and see if I can see it how he sees it, and I still don't.
Yeah,
I can understand why people love it, because the technical filmmaking of it is amazing, and Adam Sandler is insanely good,
dude.
And the sound design is ridiculously good.
Yeah,
it's very good at doing what it's trying to do, at be extremely intense and overwhelming, and having people talk over each other.
Yeah,
and things start piling up on top of each other, and like Adam Sandler will be crying about something that happened, and then the phone starts ringing, and then someone starts banging on the door outside, and
not
he sees
this
him on the
fucking guy.
This fucking guy. Yeah. So the Safdies are really good at like stacking things on top of each other, like stacking one loud, annoying, intense thing on top of another one, mm-hmm. and it just creating this anxiety. But I just think Good Time's more fine-tuned, and I just enjoy watching it a lot more.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I did bump Uncut Gems up a little bit more because I was kind of an Uncut Gems hater a little bit. Still think it's an excellent movie, but like people would like dick ride it, and I would be like, well, settle down a little bit. Like it's got some flaws, but I bumped it up to a 4.5 from a 4. Watching it in IMAX kind of registered with me. A couple things registered with me a little bit more, but I still prefer Good Time a good bit more.
Yeah, me too. And then more Mad Max stuff. And then I watched The Strangers Part 1, Chapter 1.
Yep. I appreciate your sacrifice.
Yeah,
soldier.
You're welcome.
Yep.
You're very welcome. I gave it a 1.5.
Oh, man.
Very bad. I mean, when this was announced, I was excited because I liked the first Strangers, and I was like, oh, cool, they're rebooting it. Like, something new. Cool.
Yeah.
And it's just a remake of the first one, but everything's worse.
Nice.
When I say, like, it's exactly the same, but, like, exactly the same but worse is, like, the best way I can describe it. Because saying it's exactly the same is, like, an insult to the original Strangers, but this one is, like, the same story and the same things happen, but The Strangers is a pretty, like, slow burn home invasion movie.
Yeah.
And that's much more fast-paced than this.
Oh, my God.
Like, for the first hour of The Strangers Chapter 1, nothing happens.
Holy fuck, dude.
It's the, like, horror tropes where it's this couple in an Airbnb. That's the the reason they had to reboot the franchise was because instead of it being their house, now they're in an Airbnb, and that's the difference. Because that's just a genius idea.
What's nuts is it's supposed to be a prequel to the First Strangers, right?
You know, I don't know. I don't
because I was gonna say the First Strangers, they had like flip phones and stuff, and now they're in an Airbnb.
I know that this is supposed to be a new trilogy. We're making 3 movies. This was the first of the 3, but I don't know if it's a reboot or a prequel or a sequel. I don't fucking know. I just know this is a new trilogy.
You think they're gonna get the other 2 movies?
I think they'll probably make them because they're really cheap to make. But I don't know if I'll be watching. But it's the horror tropes of like they're in this house and they start hearing noises and like someone knocks on the door and they do the Is Tamara home thing from the First Strangers, and they go away and then you start hearing like oh what was that noise? What was this noise? And they walk around the house, nothing's there. And then they start doing the dumb shit that I hate, where someone will like show up, like one of the strangers will show up behind the main character, and you'll see them in the background, and then the character will cover up them in the background with their head, and then when they move, they're gone.
Classic.
And I hate that shit so fucking much. Not only because I've seen it in every horror movie I've ever seen. Yeah. But it creates no sense of urgency. It creates like, oh, they're just fucking with them. Yeah. Why are they fucking with them? There's no, like, when you watch Hush, right? That guy wants to fucking kill her. Yeah. He's not gonna break in and just stand behind her. Yeah. Yeah, he wants to kill her. And you know anytime that like he has access to her and there's not a door, a window, or a wall in the way, like he's trying to kill her. Yeah. And that creates tension. And there's no tension when there's just a bunch of strangers walking around the house and there's a shot of her in the shower. It's in the trailer. She's in the shower and she like leans her head back and is putting shampoo in or whatever, and you see the stranger's guy. Yeah. And then she moves her head back and he's gone. It's like he was just standing right there in front of you and didn't do anything.
Dude,
just
speaking of the trailer, shout out to the fucking people that did the trailer to the Strangers.
Awesome trailer.
It's fucking awesome.
Awesome. I love the idea of using a happy song and like slowing it down and making it creepy for a horror trailer. Yeah. Because I used a Cage the Elephant song that's really good. And kind of like what Us did. Yeah. Us and I love that idea. Yeah. It's really cool. But yeah, it's that for an hour. Just them walking around the house. You see a stranger in the background, and then he's gone, and then you hear another noise, and they walk around, and it's that for a fucking hour. And then when shit starts going down, the main characters make the worst decision possible at all times. Anytime there's a good decision to be made, they say to that. Patooey. And that is like, if I'm watching a horror movie with characters that make bad decisions, I instantly don't care anymore. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you deserve it.
I don't care what happens
to you. Yeah. The horror movies that stand out to me as good ones are when the characters make smart choices. Yeah. And they're intuitive and they adapt and you know, stuff like Ready or Not. Yeah. And what was the other one? I liked Abigail. Yeah. Like when characters are smart, it makes you relate more to them. Because you're like, okay, if I was in this situation, I'd do this. Yeah. So when you see someone do that, you're like, okay, they're kind of like me. Yeah. But when they're idiots,
they're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. But when they're idiots, it's like, okay, I don't care. You don't deserve to live if that's the decision.
If you're that dumb.
Yeah. So very bad. Extremely slow, no tension, just stupid shit, stupid decision. I mean, basically, I don't know how to say what I want to say without spoiling stuff. And I know you don't care, but it's a pretty new movie, so I don't really want to spoil anything. For the audience. in terms of like gore and like cool horror stuff that you would want to see from a slasher, none of it.
Nice.
Absolutely none of it.
Nice.
So, yeah, very bad. Dude, the similarities, like, you know, like the small details from The Strangers, like the record player, and the guy not proposing to her, and like them having tension because she's like, it's been 5 years, why hasn't he proposed to me
it's
yet?
that again.
They do that again.
Oh my god.
The guy, it's been 5 years and he hasn't proposed to her, and they do the record player thing, and
oh wait, no, the first Strangers was that he did propose, but she said no.
oh,
That's what it was.
okay, so they changed it a little bit,
Yeah.
but they still did that like proposal thing.
That sucks because that is one of the elements to the first Strangers that I actually enjoyed was setting up that relationship between the two.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times in horror movies that like a group will just be together and it's like, oh, they're friends, so they're going to try and save each other. But like, maybe I'm a shitty person, but if like I just had a guy that I knew and he was trapped in a house and I got out, I'm not going to go back in for him. I'm going to be like, I'll get help. Yeah. And then I'll keep going.
Yep. And it has all those, you show up in a creepy town. Well, it's not even a town, like a creepy town, but they show up in this town in Oregon, and then everybody they run into in like gas stations and restaurants is acting super creepy, trying to set up all these red herrings.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are those people the strangers? And it's like, just people being rude for no reason, just like being assholes.
Yeah.
And it just makes me mad because people don't normally act like that. But anyways, very bad. Very fucking stupid.
Nice.
Dude,
nice.
If I had to, like, narrow it down, like, had to, scope on it.
Yeah.
Very fucking stupid. That's what
if you had to cite it in, that's where you land.
I can't believe they're making 3 of these shits.
That's crazy.
I don't know where you go after. Like, what? Why is this a trilogy?
Dude, I mean, you can just tell the same story again. Just 2 more times. Same exact thing,
Dude,
2 more times.
Just make The Strangers like an anthology series where every movie it's just the strangers going to some new place and fucking with people. That'd be more interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would get boring after a while.
I mean, I don't think there's much to do with The Strangers. I think there should have never been sequels. I think it should have just been that one movie. But like, if I had to take over the franchise, I'd probably do something similar to that. Like, just try to find settings, try to find things that would make the strangers like invading a home interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any idea where to take it either, because like if you like when you do something like The Strangers Part 1 and you're rebooting it, it seems like you're going to be telling like how the strangers came to be. I'm pretty sure that was in the marketing stuff. It was like how the strangers became the strangers.
Yeah, I think so. But
like, what makes The Strangers Part 1 so scary is that they have no motive and like nothing that they care about. They're just like want to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. So I was gonna say like maybe you do like that, a prequel, and then there's some kind of like satanic cult like fucking Charles Manson or something.
Yeah.
But then that kind of takes away from the first one.
Yeah, there's no way to do a prequel in my head. There's no way to do a prequel that explains who they are and why they do what they do.
Yeah.
Because the entire reason I like the first movie is because we don't know who they are and we don't know why they're doing what they're doing. And that, like, because that reminds me of, real life.
Yeah.
Like, there's just people, cops will show up at a crime scene, just be like, I don't know what the fuck happened here.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing that I've always loved about the first Strangers, was that there wasn't some crazy, like, you killed my brother, or you're a lawyer and you put my dad away and now I'm getting revenge. It was none of that stupid shit. It was just like, you got unlucky. Like, you were just in this house and these people fucked with you.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like,
which happens. Home invasions just happen.
Yeah.
Like, people want to break in and steal shit, and they chose your house, and you got fucked.
Yeah.
It happens.
That's the thing. Like, you can't do anything that'll undo what the first one is established, but you also can't just do, like, another first
another
one.
home invasion.
Yeah.
I think you just have to. I think the only way to like do a Stranger sequel well is you have to craft good characters.
Yeah.
Not the Strangers characters, like the people.
Yeah, the
they're
main
killing.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, like what Abigail did.
Yeah.
Like those characters were fun and interesting, and I cared about them. So just do that. But the Strangers. Anyways, we've talked enough about it. It's a shit pile. And then I kind of rewatched Us.
Oh, okay.
Like it was on in the background. Kind of watching it, kind of talking. But it's what I remember. I forgot kind of how funny it was.
Yeah.
Because the tethered family doesn't speak except for the mom. Mm-hmm. So like when Winston Duke's tethered version talks, he just goes, "Oh!"
Yeah, I do.
Like,
I do. They all just make noises.
Yeah, so that's really funny. And Winston Duke in general, I just love Winston Duke.
Oh, dude,
I want him in every movie.
He's so good.
He's so funny. Like, you remember when he was laying on the bed, like with his legs spread open, and his wife was like looking in the mirror, like stressing out about, because she knew, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but you know what she was thinking about, and he was like spread open like this, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And like, that scene is so funny. And the kids and the performances are great. The visuals are great. I love the score, what they did with I Got Five on it. Mm-hmm. The finale's really cool. But it's his worst movie to me. Yeah. And I just don't I don't think the ending makes much sense.
Yeah, I need to do a good rewatch of it, but I remember thinking that the established rules of the world didn't make any sense, and the ending, I didn't understand like what the ending had, like why did they do that? Yeah. And even like the whole kind of setup for the twist didn't make any sense when you take into consideration the rules that are established of the movie. It like the twist kind of makes the movie collapse on itself.
I was thinking about that too. I can't really say. I mean, I guess we could give a spoiler warning for Us and talk about it a little bit.
If you want to. I'm going just based on what I remember not liking about the movie.
We'll save it for if we rewatch it.
Okay.
Because like I said, I wasn't fully paying attention, so I can't really say much either.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm really hard on it, so I definitely need to rewatch it.
Yeah, and I am kind of hard on it just because I hold Jordan Peele to a really high standard. Yeah. When your first movie's one of the best movies I've ever seen, I'm going to hold you to a high standard. That's just the way that is. Yeah. And I was hard on Nope when it first came out. And I still have my issues with it, but I have, of course, Get Out at a 5, and then I moved Us up to a 4. Okay. I had it at a 3.5. Now it's at a 4. And I started with Nope, I think, like after theaters, I think it was a 3. Mm-hmm. And now it's a 4. So they're both kind of going up the more I rewatch them. But those two definitely have their issues for me, and Get Out is a perfect movie.
Yeah, so. I need to give Nope and Us a rewatch. Yeah. But I think, from what I remember, I think I do prefer Nope over Us.
Yeah, if I had to watch one, I'd watch Nope, probably. Yeah. But yeah. And what I watched just now was Office Space.
So awesome.
It makes me so fucking mad because I came home today, I got off work, I went straight to the gym. Gym's closed. Memorial Day. Awesome. So I was like, well, fuck. Now I'm going to go home and watch House of the Dragon. Because I got to catch up. I got to rewatch season 1 before season 2 comes out. Yeah. So I lay down, get comfortable, put on House of the Dragon, start dozing. I'm like, I can't doze during this. I need to watch this show. So I change it to Office Space, something I can doze on. I don't mind if I sleep during Office Space. I've seen it a bunch of times. No longer dozing. Once I
watch
put on
the
Office
whole
Space. Watch the entire thing. That's the way it always fucking works. Yep. Anytime I'm like wanting to watch something, I'll start falling asleep. So I'll change it to something I don't care, that I've seen many times. And then I won't be sleeping anymore.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah. I don't know what, it's some part of my brain that's like, I don't know.
The second you have to actually pay attention, you get tired.
Yeah, when I should pay attention, I can't, and when I don't need to pay attention, I do. It's fucking stupid.
It's called being an idiot.
Yeah, it is. But I love Office Space.
It's so good.
It's fucking awesome.
Tell you what I do, man. Two chicks at the same time, man.
Dude, fucking Lawrence is hilarious. Hell no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that now, man. And there was one moment with Lawrence that I completely forgot happened. And it's when Peter and his two friends are talking about their plan to install the virus in the software that'll steal the money.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Peter's like, all right, guys, like, if we're gonna do this, you can't tell anybody. You can't tell your family, your friends, your girlfriends, anybody. It's just between us. This is big time shit.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, of course, like nobody. And then you hear Lawrence go, "Don't worry, Peter, I won't tell anybody either," through the wall. And then they're like, "What the fuck, Peter?" And he's like, he's cool. Don't worry about it.
What a homie, dude. Don't worry, Peter. I won't tell anybody either. God, what a fucking bro.
And then at the end, sort of spoilers for Office Space, but it's not a movie that you should really worry about spoilers for. It's a comedy.
Yeah.
But towards the end, Peter's like thinking he's about to go to jail, and he's saying goodbye to Lawrence.
Yeah.
And then he's walking away, and Lawrence goes, "Hey, Peter, watch out for your cornhole, man."
Oh, yeah, I did catch that one. Watch out for your cornhole, man.
Yeah. Dude, it's just, I fucking love Office Space. It's really funny. You know, one thing that I don't think is funny about Office Space, though?
What's that?
Milton.
Yeah.
He's like the poster child for Office Space. He's on every poster.
Yeah.
But
he's the least funny
he's
character.
the least funny.
Yeah.
The one guy is funnier. Do you remember the blonde guy that like comes to their desk like once and starts talking about like fucking some girl?
I don't think so.
It's super funny, but he's like, if things go right, I'm gonna show her my O face, and he goes, oh, you guys know what I'm talking about? Oh, and
No, I don't remember that, dude.
It's really funny.
Stopping your joke to clarify
Yeah.
is so funny. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and then later in the movie, he finds out that I guess spoilers for Office Space. Sorry, I've just got to talk about these jokes. Later in the movie, he finds out that his girlfriend, before they met, slept with his boss, who he hates.
Yeah.
And so he's having nightmares thinking about Lumbergh banging his girl. And then that guy, the O guy, is showing up in his nightmares. And as Lumbergh's like putting in work on Jennifer Aniston, that O guy shows up and he goes, oh. Like, it's like this fading image thing that like this montage of like fading in and out between these shit. Dude, it's so fucking funny.
Oh my god.
And just like the dry humor of him when he gets hypnotized.
Yeah.
And then he's talking to Jennifer Aniston and he's like, she's like, "What do you do for work?" And he was like, "I work at this place called Initech, but I don't like it, and I don't think I'm going to go anymore." She was like, "Oh, you're quitting your job?" He was like, "No, I'm not quitting. I'm just going to stop going." And then she's like, "Well, what about your bills? Like, what about, like, how are you going to survive?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've never been a fan of paying bills either. I don't think I'm going to do that."
Yeah, dude.
And just that dry fucking humor is so good. And then his friend is named Michael Bolton, and everyone makes the jokes about fucking how
Actual Michael Bolton.
yeah, the singer Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
And he gets tired of it, and his friend's like, "Why don't you just like go by Mike Bolton?" He's like, "Why should I have to change? He's the one who sucks."
He's the one who sucks.
And then the meeting with the Bobs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I'd say on a given week I do about 15 minutes of real actual work.
And they're like, "My God, this guy's a straight shooter."
This guy's got manager written all over him. He's got upper management written all over him.
He's just so taken aback. Yeah, Office Space is great, dude. It's a special movie.
Yeah. It's super funny, but also super relatable for a lot of people, and has a really sweet ending too.
Yeah, it's kind of a feel-good movie.
Yeah. Everybody watch, if you haven't seen it, watch Office Space. It's a timeless movie.
Heck yeah.
That's it for the watch list. So we can go ahead and get into our Mad Max rankings.
Let me get mine pulled up here.
Ready?
Steady!
Go! Hell yeah. All right.
Every time I open up my notes, I see fecal. And I start laughing.
Okay. Number 5.
Bottom of the list.
My number 5 is Mad Max.
Mine's Mad Max. I think our lists are exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah.
It appears they are.
Now
That was the only one I was questioning.
Here's the deal. I haven't seen... You rewatched Mad Max, Road Warrior, and Thunderdome. So I'm going off of like the list that my memory has always told me is accurate. So maybe if I rewatch Mad Max and Thunderdome, I'm very confident on where I have everything else ranked. But Mad Max and Thunderdome are the only two that I'm like, I don't really watch them often.
Yeah.
So
this is my first time watching the trilogy, and they're really just not for me. I love the new Mad Max movies a lot, but the old ones just really... I'd never go back and rewatch them unless I was doing some kind of binge for a new Mad Max. But the original Mad Max to me is really boring. And I do respect it a lot, especially considering the budget. It had like a $350K budget, and George Miller saved up and like made it on his own, stopped being a doctor to do it, and very respectable movie, and I do love it for that reason, and it gave us Fury Road.
yeah.
But when you actually sit down and watch it, it is just not a very fun time for me.
Dang.
The action's good. George Miller's always had very intense, raw, visceral action, and it still has that. But the rest of the movie is... I know this is just crazy deep analysis, but it's just really not interesting. It's really boring.
Yeah,
You'll hear a lot of people say that about the first Mad Max.
You're really digging into the iceberg on this.
I really don't even like when I was reading Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, they were talking about how there was like an outrage when Max was recast for Fury Road, and Tom Hardy was reluctant to take the role because he was like, well, I mean, that's like Mel Gibson's role. He was born to play Mad Max. Like, you can't, like, no one else can play Mad Max but him. And I watched these 3 movies and I was like, why'd they think that? Like, what's so special about his portrayal of Mad Max? Like, I don't think it's a particularly great performance.
I guess because I think people say that because he was the one that like brought the character to life. You know what I mean? Like, he was the first establishing character of, or the first establishment of Mad Max. So they kind of like, everything he does is Mad Max. So it kind of feels that way, you know?
I guess. I don't know. It just feels like in that book they were talking about him like he was Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. And it's like, he's just not that at all. Yeah. I like fucking Tom Hardy's portrayal better after one movie.
I can tell you, I prefer Fury Road over any of the Mad Maxes.
Yeah, but just
Like
they're
every
just
aspect
them,
of it.
just those two characters.
Yeah, every aspect of Fury Road.
Yeah, just in one movie where he has like 4 lines, I already like him better. But I am a Tom Hardy fanboy, so that could factor in. But I just didn't see anything crazy about Mel Gibson's performance in those movies, and I know that partly has to do with his lack of dialogue. But so Tom Hardy doesn't have a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
He still has screen presence. So, yeah, Mad Max 1's really boring. You had it last too?
Yeah, I had it last.
Okay. And then next up for me is Beyond Thunderdome.
Yep.
Which,
Tina Turner, killing it.
hell yeah. Master Blaster.
Everything I do for Master Blaster, dude.
So, Beyond Thunderdome is interesting because the first like 45 minutes are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's basically him going to Bartertown.
Yeah, the arena and stuff.
Yeah, the arena, his fight with Blaster. Like, that's just some crazy 80s fun, goofy shit.
Yep.
That I had a great time watching. And then they leave Bartertown and go somewhere else, and it becomes way less fun and way less interesting.
Yeah.
And if they could have just stayed in Bartertown and kept that same tone throughout the whole movie and kept it that fun, it would have easily been my favorite OG Mad Max movie. But it's like it has these bright spots that are really fun, but overall the movie's just not very good and it's a little inconsistent. And you can tell it's inconsistent because or you can see why it's inconsistent because George Miller hates the movie because there was a lot of studio interference and he didn't really get to make the movie he wanted, and that's why he has he like gave the movie, like he quit the movie.
Oh shit.
So someone else took over for a portion of the movie. So if you look on Letterboxd, it has George Miller and some other guy directors because he quit. And I don't know. I really don't know if like what his ideas were. Like if it was the Bartertown Master Blaster stuff or if it was like the second half stuff. I don't know. I feel like the Tina Turner stuff may have been studio interference just because she was big at the time and they just wanted to find a way to put her in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say I read somewhere that Thunderdome was based on Lord of the Flies is like what kind of they were going for.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that I think George's original vision was the other half and not Thunderdome, and I don't know.
I mean, they could have both worked if there was a whole movie committed to the ideas.
Yeah.
If there was one whole movie in Bartertown, that could have worked. Or if it was one whole movie with the kids, that could have worked.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're combining both, you don't get it done well for either one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like it a little more than Mad Max. I'd much rather watch that than the original Mad Max. It's much more entertaining.
Yeah.
But still not very good.
I agree.
My third Mad Max film is The Road Warrior.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not
Lord Humongous.
Yeah.
That's what
Leave the fuel, and I will spare your lives.
Oh God, yeah. You get to see his fucking damn, what's his name? His right hand man that has his ass out.
Oh fuck, I forgot his name. Hang on. Wes?
Is it Wes?
Zeta?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember his name.
Reading the cast.
Which one is the guy with his search guy with his ass out? Wearing assless chaps.
It doesn't matter.
Dude, he climbs and is like doing athletic things with his ass cheeks out, which is like, that's crazy, dude.
Yep, that's
super impressive.
Man shit.
Yeah.
Right there. That's how you do it.
He like slides across something with his bare ass. Mm-hmm. Dude, mine's fucked after one slide. My skin's peeling, dude. Out in the desert, sliding across like a metal structure.
Yep.
That's a strong ass.
Yep. Yeah, Road Warrior is easily the best of the three. but I'm still not crazy about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember...
It still has that 80s Mad Max stink on it to me. It's still pretty boring, and the action is few and far between. There's a lot of nothing going on, and then random action like thrown in. That is good action, but I don't really care too much for Mad Max as a character, and it's still just fairly boring to me. I just been spoiled by Fury Road. That's what it is. Like when I watch a Mad Max movie, I just want Fury Road.
Yeah, it does suck because Fury Road's like one of the best movies ever, and then you have to watch the whole like anthology and like all the like you could have a good movie and it's gonna look bad like next to Fury Road.
It's kind of like watching Maverick and then going back and watching Top Gun.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, at the time this was really cool, but I've just seen this but way better.
Yeah,
so.
I need to rewatch. I need to go back and rewatch them because I remember like as a kid thinking that Thunderdome was fucking amazing and that the Road Warrior was amazing. Mm-hmm. So
maybe, I mean, you grew up with them, right?
Yeah.
So you'd probably still really like them, but when Fury Road's your first Mad Max movie, it's not going to be going well.
You got your cherry pop by fucking
by fucking God, what's his name? Johnny Sins.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you have to go back and have sex with a regular guy?
Yeah.
No, not happening.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. I mean, I'm sure in the 80s they were pretty revolutionary and really cool because I don't think there was a lot of post-apocalyptic stuff back then, but there is now. And I don't know. I'm not going to lie to myself about it. Like, I love George Miller and I love his Mad Max world and I want him to keep making Mad Max movies, but I'm not going to lie to myself and say that I love watching those old ones because I don't.
Yeah.
I love some ideas and I love some character names, but overall they're not the most fun to me to watch.
I got you. I respect it. It.
Now to the juicy stuff. Number 2, I've got Furiosa.
Yep. Which is what this whole episode is about.
Yeah. So, number 1's Fury Road, and now we'll just go back to Furiosa and talk about it since it's a new movie. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. It is fucking testosterone straight to the fucking dome, dude.
Now, this is another thing that, like we just talked about, where you're getting compared to Fury Road. So, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, there's
You've
just
got
no way around
You've got
it.
some big shoes to put on, dude.
Yeah. I was saying in a Discord today that Furiosa and Fury Road is sort of like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Where Furiosa and Better Call Saul are both amazing things.
Yeah.
But they're being compared to something that's perfect.
Yeah.
So it's always going to sound like you don't like it, but it's just, it can't be that.
Yeah.
It just can't. Furiosa can't be Fury Road, and Better Call Saul can't be Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It can be as good as it wants to, and it won't be that. So, and some people disagree, but I don't. I think both of those things are just untouchable.
Yeah.
And don't even try to compare yourself to them.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing you have to do when you watch Furiosa, is just try to go in open-minded and try to enjoy it for its own thing and not compare it to Fury Road. But that's going to happen, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it in this episode because it's just what you do.
I will say, and you might disagree, but again, I prefer every aspect of Fury Road more than Furiosa.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I may be able to pick out like one or two things I prefer in Furiosa. Maybe. But overall, yeah.
Like, I've been thinking about it a lot because, like, I was thinking about the action sequences, and I prefer the action sequences in Fury Road more than Furiosa. I prefer the score more. I prefer the story to Fury Road more. I know people make fun of, like, Fury Road not having, like, a story or, like, good characters and stuff because Max doesn't really talk or do anything. Mm-hmm. But, like, the way that they meet and Max being reluctant to like help because of how dangerous the world is. I like all that. It establishes the world so seamlessly, and I really like it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was actually thinking today, like, what advantage would I give Furiosa? What thing about it would I say is better than Fury Road? And I think the only thing I could really come to is that I think Dementis may be a better villain than Immortan Joe. Just because Immortan Joe never really gets fleshed out, and he's just this big fucking fat guy that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I love Immortan Joe, but Dementis has more layers to him.
He does.
And you find out more about him and who he is, and he has more of a screen presence. Immortan Joe doesn't really say anything. He barely talks.
He doesn't,
and
but
Dementis is like going on these like Heath Ledger Joker fucking like monologues.
Yeah.
And he just has a lot more to do and a lot he can really chew up the scenery, and I think that's probably the only thing I'd give the advantage to for Furiosa.
Yeah, I agree with that. It does. Going back and watching Fury Road, it reminds me of how fucking badass Immortan Joe's voice is compared to Furiosa. Unfortunately, like that, you know.
Are you saying his voice, like Immortan Joe's voice in Fury Road's a lot better than in Furiosa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because like when you watch this and he busts into the vault and he goes, "Where are they?" I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, this."
I'm surprised they couldn't just like kind of AI
try and emulate it. Yeah. I kind of thought they would do that, like just kind of put like a modulator on because he's like talking and he still has a cool voice, but it's just not to the level of
just get an impersonator.
Yeah,
get someone to just do an Immortan Joe impression, and because he's wearing a mask, so it doesn't have to like sync up. With the footage, you know, you can just ADR it, and I feel like no one would know.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching Furiosa, I was like, has he always sounded like that? He sounds a little different.
No.
And I know that Hugh Keaysburn passed away, so I knew that it wasn't him, but like I thought I was tripping for a second. I was like, I thought he had a different voice.
Yeah, his voice is a lot cooler in Fury Road. But no, I agree. Dementis is the big standout for Furiosa.
Also, another thing that changed, Rictus.
Yeah.
Rictus, he's put on a couple pounds.
Yeah, but it has been like almost 10 years.
It feels like a dick thing to bring up because, I mean, it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And this actor's now 10 years older, and you just can't stay in the same great shape your whole life. And I mean, he could have just said no, like I don't want to come back for Furiosa. I'm not in good enough shape anymore. But he still just did it.
Yeah.
Like he still showed up and did his job, and George Miller wanted him in the movie, so he was in the movie. So I don't want to make fun of him for it.
Yeah, and him being like in the shape he is now is still better shape than I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
He still looks better than me than if you gave me 10 years, I would not look that good.
Yeah. I hope I can look like Furiosa fucking Rictus Erectus.
Yeah.
But another interesting revelation about Rictus, I'm in denial about what was going on with Rictus and young Furiosa.
Yeah.
Because we were driving home and Carl was like, man, it sucks that Rictus is a pedophile rapist. And I was like, no.
Not my Rictus.
Not my Rictus. No,
Yeah,
he wasn't. He was just looking at the map on her arm. That's all he was doing. He was just trying to figure out where this place of abundance is.
And I was like, he cut her chastity belt off, and he was like, yeah, I mean, but he just wanted to look at the map.
He was just getting her more comfortable. Yeah. No, that had nothing to do with anything. Yeah, that was just he was just looking at the map. So they were insinuating some things about Rictus that I'm not. I'm as a Rictus fan, I'm a subscriber to Rictus Weekly.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of what was going on there.
Yeah. Someone please change our minds about what happened.
I think what he did
What's he doing?
What George did, he pulled a Frank Herbert. Frank Herbert released Dune, and he was like, why the fuck does everyone like Paul?
Yeah.
He's not the hero. I'm going to write Dune Messiah and hammer it home that he's not the hero.
Yeah.
And then George made Fury Road, and he was like, why the fuck does everyone love Rictus?
Yeah.
And then in Furiosa, he was like, you know what? I'm fucking laying the law down. Like, Rictus he should not be a fan of Rictus.
Yeah.
Rictus is
Not
a bad
cool
guy.
Yeah.
But it didn't work, George. I'm still a fan.
He's still
come
on,
and get me.
He's still on the Erectus
I'll
train.
just close my eyes during that scene, and then it never happened.
Exactly. You hit him with the old la 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 la
Yeah.
while it's going on.
I'll put cotton balls in my ears.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what happened. We're talking about very insignificant things in terms of the movie.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.5. I think it's really good.
I'm right there with you.
My number 3 of the year, I have it above Kingdom, but below Dune 2, and I Saw the TV Glow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's where I have it. I think it's awesome.
I'd put it at like number 2. I'd put it above TV Glow. But that's just because, you know, you put something in a post-apocalyptic world, I'm gonna be cumin.
To me, I think Furiosa is closer to a 4 than a 5 to me.
I got you.
I wish I liked it a little more than I do. Yeah, I have some issues with it. I think the pacing's actually quite shit. Actually quite bad. I don't love how much time they spent with young Furiosa in the beginning. I think it kind of destroys the pacing. Because once Anya Taylor-Joy's version shows up, it kind of starts gliding by. And it starts picking up pace. And the stowaway sequence is amazing.
Yeah.
Which I think the stowaway sequence is the one where the paraglides come out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which is some of the coolest shit I've seen.
Dude, the visuals of them activating the what do they call it? The Bobby something.
Bobby Knocker.
Bobby Knocker. And it taking in that like float on the back.
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stowaway sequence is awesome. I kind of agreed on my first watch. I agreed with the pacing thing, but for me, it was actually when Anya Taylor-Joy came out, because like with young Furiosa, she gets like up until that point, she's just kind of being like hunted, or she's trying to get back, and then it cuts to Anya's version, and she's like, you know, in the Citadel and stuff, and they're building the rig. And I think that whole thing is kind of when it slows down a good amount.
I don't know what you're supposed to cut out. I just think, like, when Dementis shows up to the Citadel and starts trying to take it over, I just feel like the movie kind of slows down.
Yeah.
And it's like we're getting world building, which is nice, and we're creating more of like a deeper history of this world, but it's not really helping Furiosa's story much. I don't know. I guess at times it just feels like it gets a little distracted, and I don't love the pacing. I feel like there's times in the movie where I start to be like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Like, let's get the show on the road.
Yeah.
And I know it's a big discussion, and a lot of people don't like bringing it up, but I think there's some pretty bad CGI in this movie.
I was literally just about to say something. One of the biggest ones that I noticed, the very beginning, and I like nudged you to try and acknowledge it, but like there's a person on a horse, and as they're riding towards another person, they like get on, and they get on
too quick.
They get on like it's Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
Like they mount the horse like a robot.
Yeah, there's a lot of like wide shots of like bunch of people, on bikes or in cars or whatever, just people walking. And so instead of getting a bunch of extras, they would just CGI it.
Yeah.
And there's not a ton of scenes like that in Fury Road where there's like tons and tons of extras. It's mainly like cars. So they CGI'd it, and a lot of times it looks pretty bad. And the thing I noticed that makes it look so fake is people move too fast.
Yeah.
Like when someone falls off a bike, they fall off way too fast, which seems just like an easy fix to me. Like just slow down the animation.
Yeah.
Just slow it down half speed, and people won't be able to notice that it's CGI. So that it's disappointing that it seemed like kind of an easy fix, but overall I noticed a lot of CGI in the movie. Mm-hmm. Even the paraglide sequence. That's probably like impossible to shoot practically, and I get that. But I still notice it, and I still don't like it. I don't like the way it looks.
I thought the paraglider sequence was actually one of the more seamless of the CGI sequences. Like the horse thing was when I was like, okay, they're using CGI. But when it really popped out to me was at the Citadel. When Dementus first gets to the Citadel, like you see at the top where Joe normally comes out, they come out and it's very clearly CGI. Like they CGI'd people into the side of a mountain. Mm-hmm. And it looks like fucking PS2 graphics. It looks horrible. Yeah.
A lot of the action is they have a lot of expensive things happening that would cost way too much to shoot, so they just CGI it. And it's confusing because I know some people's excuses, well, now George Miller's 10 years older and can't do the stuff he did 10 years ago. But I don't really understand the argument because George Miller's not in the car doing it himself. It's not like him being older. It's not like he's the stuntman. Like he's still just sitting in a chair behind a camera.
But he's still like having to coordinate that scale of things.
Yeah, but he's still like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of a weird thing because when you watch the behind the scenes and read about Fury Road, George Miller's mantra for that whole movie was
make it real.
No, it was we're going to do whatever's best for the movie. Mm-hmm. There may be some shortcut we can take to film this scene in 2 hours, but if we're taking a shortcut and it's not what's best for the movie, and what's best for the movie will take 4 days to film, then we're doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's why when you watch Fury Road, when I tell you, not a single shot of Fury Road looks bad or looks CGI to me.
No,
there is CGI. It's mainly changing colors and changing the sky color, and it's
like
kind
obviously
of it.
The storm is CGI.
Yeah, the storm is CGI,
but it looks amazing.
But it's the bare minimum. Mm-hmm. It's just changing sky colors, adding maybe a couple extra explosions or something when someone shoots a gun, but it's rarely in the movie.
Yeah.
And especially not like action. Anything action related is practical.
Yeah.
And
which is crazy. Dude.
Yeah. So that's the reason I love Fury Road so much, is everything feels so real and visceral. Every shot of Fury Road, I'm like, how'd they film that? That makes no sense. How the fuck did they do this?
Yeah.
And in Furiosa, I didn't feel like that many times. I didn't really ever go like, wow, that like how'd they do that?
Yeah.
I do still think George Miller has this like he storyboards all of his movies, and they feel so kinetic when you watch them. The shots feel so intricately designed and edited together. Like there was this one shot, I don't know if I can describe what I mean because I don't even fully remember what happened, but towards the beginning, Furiosa's mom shoots one of the biker guys in the head, and like his head's coming towards the camera, and it's like synced up perfectly with this edit, but I can't fully remember what happened. But you can tell nothing in the movie was like on a whim or last minute decision or showed up on the day and just figured it out. Everything was very planned out, and not to the level that Fury Road is. I think when you watch Fury Road, I mean it's fucking poetry.
Yeah.
The editing of Fury Road. So it still has that. It still flows very naturally and is a very well crafted movie technically. But it feels much more CGI, and the budget is, I think, even more than Fury Road. So
That's
it's not
crazy.
budgetary restrictions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really understand why they had to use so much CGI. I really don't
Don't
understand. We have better technology now to get stuff done. I know when they filmed Fury Road, they weren't allowed to use drones because drones were too new and they didn't have the safety protocols yet.
Yeah.
And now they can use drones, so I feel like that opens up so many more avenues to film action in ways that you couldn't before. So I just don't get it. When it's the same guy who said we're doing whatever's best for the movie, and then all of a sudden it feels like they're taking shortcut after shortcut.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair. I know I can't imagine how hard it is to make a movie, but it's it comes to this, like, it comes back to what I was saying about Jordan Peele, where I just hold George Miller to a really high standard.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
No, I kind of agree. I agree with you to an extent. Like, there are certain things that obviously you gotta use CGI for. Like, if you're going for something, like if you want the color to be a certain way or whatever. But there was shots. It's like, dude, this just does not look good. And like, even back to the Citadel, like when they were standing on the side of the mountain, and when they were picking the War Boy. Which that scene is so badass, but when you're looking at the War Boys, everything
in the background's like fuzzy and like looks completely different than the little thing they're standing on.
Yeah, and like their lighting is different too, and I was like, oh, maybe this just looks weird because they're all so pale. But no, it's just like there's just like one guy there, and they CGI'd the rest of everyone.
Yep. Like the shot of in the trailer, the shot of Furiosa driving like the black car with the fucking harpoon on the front.
Yeah.
And it drives over the dune and like is like kind of snaking along and like knocks a bike off. That shot doesn't look real at all.
Yeah.
And I know probably impossible to film that shot because the guy on the bike would probably die. But I don't know. I don't know. There's a disconnect for me. When I'm watching Fury Road, it feels real, it feels visceral, and I'm there. And then when I watch Fury Road, it just feels a little more like a normal movie.
Yeah.
Like a normal movie you would go see. So the action kind of did let me down. And in terms of like set pieces, I mean, I think almost every action sequence in Fury Road is better than every action sequence in Furiosa.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's what I was gonna say.
I don't know if the best action sequence in Furiosa is better than the worst of Fury Road.
Yeah, no, because easily the best action sequence is a Stowaway, and the rest of everything else except for Stowaway isn't really even
like, I don't remember really anything happening other than that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the opening is cool with her mom, and
the opening is cool, but like, I don't know. There was so many more, like, it seemed like they were firing like so many different things at, like, when they were making Fury Road, because they've got the polecats to grab people, they've got harpoons, they've got the flamethrowers, they've got the launcher, the spears, the explosive spears, and like all this other cool stuff. And then the only really cool new thing that they brought in was the paragliders for Furiosa.
Yep.
And then you got less of what you saw. Like, there weren't any polecats or anything like that.
Yep. The paragliders are like the thing that sticks out in my head. Is like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, most of it was pretty similar to what we've already gotten and doesn't really stick out.
Yeah.
I do love like the finale with Furiosa and Dementis and their whole exchange. I thought that was really great.
Oh, dude, I love Dementis's fucking his truck and his chariot. Mm-hmm. That's the most badass thing ever, dude.
Oh, I forgot about an entire sequence that was very CGI heavy, which was the Bullet Town War.
Oh yeah,
when they set up a trap in Bullet Town, the Bullet Farm, and the guy Praetorian Jack gets like trapped inside, and then Furiosa goes in to help him, and I mean, I get that that's like you can't really build a Bullet Farm and film it practically, but come on. Like, there were a lot of shots that were very questionable.
Yeah. No, I agree. There was, like, the second watch really is what, like, I started really picking up on stuff like that. I was like, eesh.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm pointing out more negatives than positives. I still gave it a 4.5, and I still think it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
But I can't help but compare it to Fury Road. I'm doing exactly what I said not to do. But I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Like, that's the natural thing for me to do, is to compare it to Fury Road. But I think Anya Taylor-Joy did great. She has 30 lines in the movie, and she is great at acting with her eyes and knowing exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Without her having to say anything. And I think she pulls off like the action, like she sells it. And I love Scrotus.
Scrotus is the guy, dude.
Yeah.
I liked his little skirt, his little Roman skirt that he wore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Badass.
I think the standout for me is really Dementis.
Yeah, Dementis was the character that... It is kind of weird that it's called Furiosa, and then Dementis is like the big character. It's kind of like Barbie all over again, and the big standout being Ken. But like, Dementis is an excellent villain. Excellent villain. Mm-hmm. I really liked all the weird shit he would do, and even like the visuals that they had for him. Like, there was one shot of him just sitting like crisscross on a hill, and his like cloak is inflated behind him in like this big bubble. It looks so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How are you even doing that? And then the way he like changes colors throughout the movie, and his cloak will get like red from dye, or the what do they call it? The sky black or something.
Yeah, it's a flare gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it'll be red, and then it'll get dirty, and like ash will fall on it, and then it'll turn black and stuff. Like that shit was awesome.
Yeah. Now, I did start to have questions on my second watch when I was paying attention to young Furiosa's storyline. Mm-hmm. Because she, Dementis basically like becomes her father and like holds her hostage and tries to protect her. And then the night when Rictus is getting silly,
Yeah.
she escapes. And
Yes.
I guess everyone at that point just says like, oh, she ran away. That's it. She's gone.
Yeah.
And then she shaves her head and like pretends to be a boy
Yeah.
to like disguise herself so no one knows who she is. Which makes sense. I'm tracking. And she starts like rising the ranks and becoming a badass, and she's known as a mute. She doesn't talk because she wants people to think she's a boy. Mm-hmm. But then when she's on the mission with Praetorian Jack and like reveals herself for the first time, she has to take off her helmet to put the thing on the smoky thing.
Yeah.
And so then everybody sees that she's a girl, and nobody cares. Like, nobody like brings it up at all. Or I'm like, you were supposed to be ran away and in hiding, and this person that everyone thought was a guy is now a girl, and no one seems to be making a big deal about it.
Well, I don't think they know that like she was one of the potential wives, because the wives aren't allowed to leave the vault, and only Joe and his relatives are allowed to like go in there.
Right, but
like in the heat of being killed, like they don't give a fuck that she's a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, in the moment, sure, they don't care. But a lot of time passes, and then she just becomes like the captain of this fucking war rig.
Yeah. So
And
like
so she's working for Immortan Joe, and Dementis and all them are like, you know, working together, and she's working for them, not in disguise anymore.
Yeah, she's like, you know, grown now, and they only remember looking for a little girl.
Yeah, but like they don't have, from what I can tell, they don't have any women like working on anything like that. Like
Yeah, I
any
think
of the ships.
Praetorian Jack like vouched for her and probably like got that for her because Jack was the best Praetorian that they had. He said he always came back with, he's had the most runs on the Fury Road and always comes back with like what's required. So if your best guy says, "Hey, this is my second in command," you're gonna say yeah.
So you just don't think it matters that she's a woman to them? Like they don't care?
No, I think in that situation, I think she's under like Jack's protection, basically.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I don't know.
Like it doesn't show that, but like when they're talking on the road, he's like, "If you stick with me, I'll give you everything you need to survive."
I mean, your theory makes sense because when they're in the bullet farm, Dementis sees her in the rig, and I forget what he says to her.
He says, "Are you in charge here?"
Yeah, and he doesn't recognize her. So I guess that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't. Yeah, she's a woman, but it doesn't really matter because no one is like putting together that she's Furiosa. So
yeah, and they didn't know her name was Furiosa. Like all they knew was that she was a little girl and that they were going to take her and make her one of the wives.
Mm-hmm.
So when she comes back and she's like, "I'm Imperator," or "I'm Praetorian Furiosa," they're like, "Holy shit, it's Furiosa."
Yeah. Yep. Also, I was reading in the trivia for Mad Max, or for Furiosa, that she says a line in Fury Road that says it's been like 7,000 days since she's been to the green place.
Something like that, yeah.
Is it since the green place? I don't
remember. I do remember her saying, yeah, in Fury Road, yeah.
Which would be 21 years or 19 years. I don't know. There was, I can't remember exactly what I'm saying, but it seemed like there was like 19 years between the ending of Furiosa and Fury Road, which just doesn't seem right.
No, since she'd been to the green place. That's from when she was captured to then.
Do you remember the line?
Yeah, because they're like, "Lord, how long has it been?" And then Furiosa says however many times it's however much time it's been. And I think it was like, okay, so she was like, if you do the math, I remember thinking that she would have been taken when she was like, 10 or something like that, which adds up with Furiosa.
Yeah, I guess it lines up. Yeah, we're not being the most positive about the movie, but I think the score really let me down. I thought the score in the trailer sounded really cool and had this really cool theme, and I don't remember like ever hearing that theme.
Yeah. And
the score is very basic sounding to where you don't even really notice it, and it's also not very loud in the mix. In Fury Road, the score is blaring. It's super loud, and it's like almost a character in the movie is the music.
Yeah.
And it's so distinct.
Yeah.
And it makes the movie what it is. And Furiosa didn't really utilize it too much.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And it was a big disappointment for me. I feel like these new Mad Max movies really thrive on a loud-ass score.
Yeah,
like
dude,
blaring at all times during the action.
Metal in your fucking ear, dude.
It's like the Oppenheimer score. How that score like is the movie.
Yeah.
In a weird way. I know the movie would be good without it, but it's the glue for the whole movie.
Yeah.
And that's what Junkie XL's score is to Fury Road. It's the glue that holds it together. And so when when you don't have that in Furiosa, it feels like it's missing something.
Yeah.
And that was a big letdown for me. So I don't think the visuals are as good. I don't think the score's as good. I don't think the story's as good. Even though it's like way longer and has way more dialogue.
Yeah.
And has way more attempts at a story. I still think I resonate more with Fury Road's story.
Yeah.
The pacing's way better. The action's way better. I said I wasn't going to compare it to Fury Road, and that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing.
No, like, regardless of all these faults that we point out compared to Fury Road, which we both think is a perfect movie, like, it's still an awesome action movie.
Yeah.
It's still a fucking kick-ass action movie. Awesome stuff happening with, like, great visuals. Mm-hmm. We say the CGI is bad, but their visuals are still fucking awesome. And there's... When they go to the Citadel, which is where I talked about where I noticed the CGI, that moment of him being like, pick a war boy, that's the most badass thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Which also makes Fury Road cooler.
Yeah.
Because it adds this whole level of history with Immortan Joe and the War Boys and how dedicated they've been to him for so long.
Yeah.
That, like, there's no turning them.
Yeah.
Like,
their religion is, I have to die for Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live, I die, I live again.
Yeah.
That's their motto. So that's really cool to me, expanding the lore with the War Boys and Immortan Joe. But I don't know. I mean, it was kind of what I expected. I never expected Furiosa to be as good as Fury Road.
Yeah, no.
I was just happy to get back in the world.
Yeah.
And it did that. It does definitely feel like Mad Max.
Oh, yeah.
God, you just can't stop dropping your phone.
Don't worry about me, pal. Finish your thought.
I'm done with my thought. You
Oh,
want to
okay.
say something?
Well, you went, and you started making dad noises like you were still going.
No.
But yeah, no, I agree. I was super thrilled to be back in the saddle. More fucking post-apocalyptic shit. I love seeing the new vehicles. Dementus's truck, his fucking six-wheeler, was fucking cool as shit. The Mack truck. I really liked the Bullet Farm sequence, even though it was CGI heavy. I really liked. I liked Dementus using that guy as a shield to shoot a rocket. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I thought that the movie ended on the perfect note almost. It was a little confusing because it ends with setup to, like, it ends almost right into the setup of Fury Road. But it's still Anya Taylor.
Yeah, that's just one of those things you have to forget.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing they can really do about it.
Yeah. It just seems like, in my head, Anya Taylor's like young Furiosa, and then Charlize is Furiosa. Mm-hmm. But the way it's set up towards the end, it was like, whoa.
Yeah. I feel like they could have just gotten Charlize Theron to play Furiosa.
Yeah.
Just made her look... I mean, she doesn't really age, so I feel like you could have made it work, but... Hey. You know?
No. My name's Paul.
Yeah, that's between y'all. Yeah, I wish I had more thoughts for Furiosa, but I don't really know what else to say, really.
You didn't talk about Smeg.
Smeg's awesome.
Smeg's the guy.
I need a Smeg spinoff.
Yeah.
Oh, Furiosa's doing really bad at the box office.
Yeah, I was worried about that because both the times we went, there really weren't much people there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dang. We
don't deserve nice things. That's I mean, we're never getting Mad Max Wastelands. We're just never getting that.
Dang, dude.
Because Fury Road was like barely profitable with the budget and marketing. It barely made money. So it was probably really hard to convince studios to even make Furiosa, and now they're most certainly not making another one if it doesn't, pick up. which like never happens. If a movie has a bad opening weekend, it never like turns around after that.
Yeah.
Like that's normally all you need to know.
Yeah. It freaking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Because Wastelands, I think, would have been incredible.
Yep. Hopefully, if he doesn't make Wastelands, he'll like release storyboards, release like a book of storyboards and plot ideas and character designs and stuff, so we could like see what he had planned. But I believe he said, I was watching an interview with him, and he said that his plan for a third movie is about Max a year before Fury Road. So I guess that was his plan, was like do Fury Road and then explain where both people were before it.
Yeah. Which would enhance Fury Road even higher than what it already is.
Yeah.
And I do think Furiosa does do a really good job at enhancing Fury Road upon rewatch.
Yeah.
Like, you understand her unique relationship with the wives. You understand like her motivation and her passion for everything and like what she's been through.
Mm-hmm. I just think that a sequel would make a lot more sense than a prequel for Max, because we understand his story. Like, we get from the little quick flashbacks his past and how tortured his past is.
Yeah.
And I feel like doing another movie just to show that is kind of not necessary. And he has like a lot more work to do going forward that would be more interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because Fury Road is basically about like turning a man back into a man.
Yeah.
Who's been turned into this animal.
Yeah.
By this world that he lives in. And I don't think you need to, I don't know. I think a prequel is a little silly to me.
Yeah, you don't need to see his break because you've already seen where he winds up.
Redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I'd much rather just have a sequel.
I never really thought about it like that. I always just get so excited to think about Tom Hardy back as Max. Mm-hmm. Which I don't even know if they would be able to get him or not. But
he seemed like he would do another one. And George Miller seemed like he would want to work with him again. I mean, he wrote a story for it, so I just don't think we have to worry about it because it's not going to happen. Because fucking people are stupid.
Yep.
People would rather watch fucking... Oh, God. Who?
Dude,
Fast
Garfield.
and Furious 11. I mean...
Every person I saw like in the theater was getting like the Garfield special
I'm sure
cups.
Garfield's beating it right now at the box office.
Which is crazy.
It's fucking stupid.
So sad, dude.
Yeah. Maybe he can get like... I think like a animated Mad Max thing could work.
Could.
And it could be a lot cheaper.
I don't know. I'll crowdfund that fucking thing, dude. I got $3,000 for you, George.
Yeah.
Burning a hole in my pocket, I'll give it to you. If you make Wastelands, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I think that's kind of all we've got for Furiosa. You have anything else we could talk about?
I don't think so. Kind of a light watch list this go around.
Yeah, because a lot of it was Mad Max stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's it. I don't want to just ramble for no reason.
Yeah.
A little short. I always like to get at least 2 hours, but
You got an inside scoop you could throw in?
My foot hurts.
Yeah.
There's an inside scoop.
Yeah.
I have something wrong with my foot where every so often it'll flare up and hurts like shit to walk on. It feels like my foot's broken.
Before we started this, he had his shoes on and he took one of his shoes off and went, fuck! I was like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you?
Dude, it hurts so fucking bad. It feels like I have broken bones in my foot when I walk on it.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me a couple times. It's like if I do something that works my foot out too much, it'll like trigger this flare up in my foot. Yeah. And I think what it was I never do cardio because cardio sucks. Yeah. I go to the gym, I lift weights, I leave. I'm tired. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to do cardio. But last week I did cardio for like the first time in the gym in a while, and I did incline treadmill with Air Force Ones on, so not like good walking shoes, like flat sole shoes. Yeah. And I think that is what fucked me up. I think that like I was working my foot too hard, like on the incline, and it triggered this flare up. And my foot hasn't flared up in like over a year, so I forgot that was even something that happened to me. So.
And it happened on the weekend that you had to move your mom.
Yeah, I had to help my mom move, and I had to move her Friday and Saturday, and it happened Thursday. So that was fucking awesome. Perfect. So I've been hobbling around like a fucking dweeb.
Yeah, dude.
For the past week. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and a couple nights I haven't gotten great sleep because if my foot's at like a certain angle, it hurts really bad and it'll wake me up. And I move a lot while I sleep, so I'm tossing and turning. And if I toss and turn and it puts my foot in a uncomfortable position, it'll wake me up.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Do I need to tie you down?
Last night I figured out a way to prop my foot up and
maybe if I laid on top of you and you couldn't move.
I've got to like basically put a pillow in between my feet.
Oh, gotcha.
And that kind of solves it. But yeah, in the morning, it is I'm storming Normandy, like in my foot, like, it's very bad. I've got to almost like hop on one foot in the morning. Jeez. And then as the day goes on, the more I use my foot, it gets better and better, and like gets more like worn in. I don't know how to like describe it, but it just gets more used to being used and gets more comfortable. Yeah. And like taking Advil works, which means it's a muscle thing. Yeah. If taking Advil works, so that helps too. Yeah. So by the end of the day, it's like normally not too bad, unless I put it in a weird position. And then when I wake up, we're back to square one, and it fucking hurts like shit again because it's been like resting for so long while I sleep, and then it's back to the grind. Yeah, and it hates it.
No, the same thing happened to me whenever I was playing rugby in high school. Like I don't know what happened, if I stepped weird or something, but like the top of my foot felt like it was like broken, and I was like having a limp, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then the doctor said I like pulled metatarsals in my foot, and then I just like stopped going to rugby practice, and it went away. So I was like, I'm just not gonna do that anymore.
That's similar to how it feels for me. I think last time it happened, it lasted for like a week, maybe two, and so that's why I just haven't gone to the doctor, because it's like it doesn't happen often, and when it does, it goes away in a week or two. So big whoop. Yeah. Like I'll hurt for 2 weeks. I'm not gonna waste money going to the doctor.
Yeah, you're a fucking man.
When I know it'll get better. So, not the most fun right now though.
Yeah, not
the best time. Not the best time to have to move either.
Oh yeah.
Picking up a bunch of heavy furniture.
The complete worst time.
Yeah. Very bad time. So hopefully that gets better soon. Smiling Friends, new episode was really funny.
Oh yeah,
the best episode of the season so far.
Yeah, we're back after that episode.
Yeah.
Something's really got to change, brother.
If you guys don't watch Smiling Friends, I'm telling you, you're missing out.
Yeah,
and I'm talking to you, Evan.
Yeah, you got to check it out.
Yeah, watch Smiling Friends on HBO Max. They need to just hire me to do commercials for them.
Yeah. Because I haven't seen much for advertisement for Smiling Friends.
They don't advertise shit.
they just roll out a new season. That's it.
Yeah, it's just the loyal fans that spread the word.
Yeah, all the cool guys
spread the word of the Charlie.
Exactly.
Pym.
Charlie and Pym.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, I've been trying to get through House of the Dragon season 1. Listening to Tyler Childers.
Hell yeah. Now you're talking my language, guy.
Yep. Starting to dabble.
Starting to explore.
A little bit.
Check out your roots there.
A little bit, yeah. And I also just realized that Spotify has a shit ton of free audiobooks.
Really?
Yeah, because I've always heard that, and people have told me to do it, but I was on a student plan, and they're not available on the student plan.
What the hell?
So I was like, I just forgot that they were on there. And then so my student plan ran out because it's like you have to update it every year.
Yeah.
And so it switched me to just the standard account. So now I have all the audiobooks. And I looked up like 10 books that I wanted to read, and 9 of them were on there for free.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The only one that wasn't was American Psycho. And everything else was on there.
That's going to be awesome, dude.
Yeah, like all the Lord of the Rings, fucking Red Rising, Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, all that stuff. Like everything. The Dunes aren't on there, but I'm kind of good on the Dunes at this point.
Yeah.
I've read 2.5. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Like Project Hail Mary's on there. Like every Stephen King book, all the Cormac McCarthy books are all on there. So I'm going to start putting in some work.
I'm going to have to do that too. I'm going to have to explore
They're just
that.
free. Dude, it's crazy because Audible charges $16 a month.
That's crazy.
And do you know what you get for Audible?
Audiobooks?
No, like specifically.
Oh, no.
You get an audiobook a month.
What the fuck?
One audiobook a month for $16 a month.
Oh my God.
And on Spotify, you pay nothing. You pay nothing extra. It's already the Spotify account you've already had for music, and you get everything for free.
That's crazy, dude.
Like,
I didn't know they limited you to one a month.
Yeah, you get a credit a month to use
That's
on
fucking
one book.
crazy.
Yeah, so if you get a short book that you read in a couple of days, you're just waiting 3 weeks for another credit.
Yeah.
Like, it's an insanely bad deal.
Yeah.
If it's $16 a month, it needs to be unlimited audiobooks.
Yeah.
But even at that point, you're still getting fucked by Spotify
Yeah.
because everyone already has Spotify.
Exactly.
So they're not going to pay for your service. Yeah, Kindle or Audible, they're fucked.
Yeah, dude.
Like if they don't change some shit around, they're fucked bad.
Yeah.
Because Spotify figured it out. I tell you.
They've got you.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Straight to the point.
Yep. I hope you fellas enjoyed it. It's a fun episode.
Heck yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about next week. I don't think there's any big releases to talk about.
I'm sure we'll figure something out. I got some stuff on my watch list that I need to get through. We still got to watch her raffle.
We have 3 now.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
dude.
We have to watch Mulholland Drive, Fantastic Planet, and the one that you picked, Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I'm excited for
Which
that.
I didn't know John Ford was in. Or John Wayne.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my first John Wayne movie.
You know, I had to throw it on there.
I feel like that's just like a necessity.
Yeah.
If you're a movie person, you got to see at least one John Wayne movie.
Got to.
So, and lucky me, this one has John Wayne and James Stewart.
Yeah, dude. I was like, holy shit,
That's
worlds
the
are
Wombo.
colliding, dude.
That's the fucking Wombo combo right
Yeah.
there. The 1-2.
Happy Thanksgiving, pilgrims.
I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening to the Film Scoop.